at Westcott, we meet on Thursdays for our Power to Change session. And our students are eagerly looking forward to that 1:30 time where they come to the lunchroom. And our facilitator is here always early so that she's able to get started. And so the students come down, I join them. Each of us comes with our notebook. And I keep the notebooks because we want to make sure that they're intact and they are here every week. The program is very structured in that there is no downtime. And I like that because as soon as they come in, they may have small talk, say hello to the facilitator, and then they get right on it. They start out by, each session is led by a student. Students are able to give examples of what has happened to them during the past week, if it's maybe something at home that they had a problem with or something in the classroom. They're able to share. And it's structured also. They just don't start talking off the top of their heads. They have to lead an example, and we call them examples, but it's really the problem that you had that you want to share with the group. And so someone says, tell me about what happened. And so they go into what happened. And then they said, and they ask a question like, well, how were you feeling at that point? And then the student will say, oh, well, I was feeling angry, I was feeling upset. And then they'll say something like, well, tell me about your impulses at that time. And the kid may go, impulses, what do you mean? Well, were you ready to hit? Were you ready to jump? Were your palms sweating? Did you feel yourself perspiring? And so they go through all that. And so the final question is after they've gone through that series of questions and explained what the incident was, the child that's telling the example says, and that's when I began to work myself up. And so the other students in the group, and they're very supportive, they have a list of tools in which they're able to talk to this student who talked about the incident. And tools are actually like short sayings or interventions and strategies that the children use to talk about what they could have done or what they can do in the future to, if they're in this kind of situation, to kind of coach themselves out of it. At that point, the student that gave the example is in a glass box. They can't speak. So as others are giving them support, they can't say, but, oh, let me tell you, that didn't work that way. So they have to take all of the tools that they're given. And some of the tools that the children love to use are things like try, fail, try, succeed. And I really like that one because in the group we talk about things that are related to behavior. But then outside of the group, I use that with them and we talk about things that are related to academics too. Another one, you can't control the outer environment. And I think that one is really good because most times, well, in a lot of cases, the students talk about things. For example, one talked about something that happened with his mother and the stepfather. And they talked about, oh, before that would have made me upset. Oh, I know what it was. It was the holidays, and they kept having to run to the store. And they thought, well, why do I have to keep going to the store? And they should go themselves, and they have cars. And the tool for that particular child was you can't control the outer environment. And so then they asked, well, what would you have done before you started the Power to Change program? And the kid said, well, I might have said something smart. And so they said, well, what did you say? Well, in this case, I went to the store. But I had my thoughts, but I kept them to myself. So I like that part of the program is also, what would you have done before you had this experience with Power to Change? And they tell me in the session and out of the session, you know, I use some of these tools at home. I use these tools on the playground. And so they know they're not just school related, but just, you know, to help them become a better person in any and every environment.